If you thought the Jeffrey Epstein saga was done throwing curveballs, think again. With the story creeping back into the headlines like that one guest who just will not leave your party, new connections are popping up, some eyebrow-raising, others downright bizarre. And one of the latest, a thread linking Melania Trump to the late financier and convicted sex offender himself. Now, before you picture Melania in one of those infamous Epstein-Maxwell party Polaroid, let's rewind. From Yugoslavia to Times Square, Melania Knaus started modeling at the tender age of 16 in what was then Yugoslavia. Her path took her from the runways of Paris and Milan straight to the United States in 1996, thanks largely to a man named Paolo Zampoli. Zampoli wasn't just any fashion insider. He was a well-connected agent who not only sponsored her U.S. immigration, but also hooked her up with modeling gigs and arranged for her to share an apartment with photographer Matthew Atanian. So far, so glamorous. Except for one small hiccup. Melania's travel visa at the time didn't actually permit her to work, yet reports suggest she clocked in around 10 modeling jobs anyway. Also worth noting, Melania was 26, ancient by runway standards, when she was still breaking into the business. But she soon scored a major win. A Camel Cigarettes ad shot by Ellen von Unwerth that plastered her across a Times Square billboard and landed in Rolling Stone. From fashion to real estate and models as sales tools. By the late 90s, Zampoli was dipping his manicured toes into real estate while still running his modeling agency, ID Models. This wasn't just an agency for fashion shoots. According to reports, it was also used to help sell luxury properties. The idea? Beautiful models at open houses somehow made penthouse prices feel like bargains. Melania didn't hold a real estate license, but she was swimming in these circles, where the boundaries between fashion, high-end property, and social climbing blurred into one glittering and maybe morally questionable cocktail. So, who really introduced Melania to Trump? Ask 3 people how Donald Trump met Melania, and you'll get 3 stories, and possibly a headache. Zampoli's version: he introduced them at a New York Fashion Week party in 1998. Jeffrey Epstein's version: he was the one who made the introduction, implying he knew Melania first. Melania's version: neither man was involved. She simply met Trump at a party where he showed up with another woman, Norwegian model Selena Middelfart, despite still being married to Marla Maples. According to Melania, Trump asked for her number and she turned the tables. "Give me your number and I'll call you." Enter Michael Wolff, stage left. Journalist Michael Wolff, yes, the Fire and Fury guy, claims Melania wasn't just passing through Epstein's world, but was very involved in his social circle. Wolff suggests she was connected to Trump via a modeling agency tied to both Trump and Epstein. Epstein knew her well, Wolff flatly stated in one interview. Politico has also pointed out that Zampoli had ties to both Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, the dynamic duo of shady high society networking. And here's a curious twist. Very little public info exists about Melania's personal life before Trump. It's as if her history pre-1998 went through a paper shredder. Coincidence? Or just European privacy culture? The Lolita Express rumor. In Wolff's recordings made before Epstein's death, Epstein allegedly hinted that Trump and Melania's romance may have first turned intimate aboard his infamous private jet, the Lolita Express. Let's pause here. That's a deeply disturbing claim. There's no hard proof, and it should be treated with caution, but it adds yet another twist to an already murky origin story. Trump and Epstein, from bros to foes. Trump and Epstein were far from casual acquaintances. For decades, they were fixtures in the same Palm Beach Manhattan party circuit, rubbing elbows at exclusive clubs, sharing dinners, and even hitting dance floors together, often appearing to select women as if browsing a menu. In a 2002 New York Magazine interview, Trump openly praised Epstein, saying, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with," before adding the eyebrow-raising remark that Epstein liked beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. Their shared social escapades dated back at least to 1992, when NBC cameras caught them at Mar-a-Lago, pointing out women on the dance floor. That same year, Trump hosted a calendar girl competition where 28 models were flown in, only to discover their sole audience consisted of just 2 men, Trump and Epstein, the falling out. By 2004, the once chummy relationship between Trump and Epstein had fizzled, reportedly over a rivalry for prime Palm Beach real estate. Whatever truly caused the split, by the time Epstein was back in the headlines in 2019, Trump was firmly in damage control mode, insisting, "I was not a fan. I had a falling out with him a long time ago." He flatly denied ever stepping foot on the infamous Lolita Express or visiting Epstein's private island, but flight logs later revealed a different picture, showing Trump had flown with Epstein on 7 separate occasions. Victims and witnesses. The Epstein-Trump overlap is often discussed in terms of shared social circles and travel records. Public accounts, including statements by Virginia Giuffre about being recruited while working at Mar-a-Lago and a 2024 Guardian interview with former model Stacey Williams, have alleged links between the two worlds. Trump has denied these allegations. Epstein's 2017 tapes. The most jaw-dropping claims emerged from Michael Wolff's 2017 recordings of Jeffrey Epstein, where Epstein painted a strikingly unflattering portrait of Donald Trump. According to Epstein, he and Trump had been closest friends for a decade, during which he observed Trump as being rude to staff, fixated on women, and possessing no genuine friends beyond Ivanka, his secretary, and a bodyguard. He even alleged that Trump was almost functionally illiterate, with his reading habits limited to the New York Post's Page 6 gossip column. Perhaps the most unsettling claim of all was Epstein's assertion that Trump once bragged about preferring romantic encounters with wives of my best friends. Unsurprisingly, the Trump campaign fired back hard. Former press secretary Caroline Leavitt dismissed the tapes as outlandish false smears designed to interfere with the election. So, what's the truth? The reality is, we don't have a complete, crystal clear picture of Melania's life before Donald Trump or the exact nature of her connection to Jeffrey Epstein. Instead, we're left with a messy puzzle made up of conflicting origin stories, missing chapters in her biography, and social circles where modeling agencies seem to double as luxury real estate marketing tools, and possibly more questionable ventures. Adding to the intrigue is the unusually spotless public record of her life prior to 1998, almost as if someone had pressed the reset button. Sure, some of this could just be coincidence. After all, the 90s New York high society scene was a small, tightly woven network, but when you factor in Epstein's proven crimes, Trump's well-documented friendship with him, and the swirling rumors, it's no wonder the internet has grabbed its magnifying glass and detective hat. The takeaway: this isn't just about salacious gossip. It's about how money, power, and beauty often move in the same rarefied spaces, where gatekeepers decide who gets invited and who gets erased. Melania's rise from a young Yugoslavian model to First Lady of the United States is, on paper, a fairy tale. But fairy tales often leave out the unsettling parts, the shady benefactors, the murky networking, and the mysterious figures who helped open doors. As for the Epstein connection, it may be more about shared social strata than direct wrongdoing, but given everything we now know about Epstein's world, even a tangential link is enough to keep this story from fading away. And that wraps up today's deep dive into the tangled ties of Melania, Trump, and Epstein. If this video made you think, or even just gasp, smash that like button. Hit subscribe so you never miss our next jaw-dropping investigation. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Coincidence? Connection, or full-on cover-up. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and keep asking the tough questions.